Hi and welcome to this very special vehicle being advertised exclusively on www.autoemotional.com. The car is blinding to say the least. It is of course the E38 BMW 7 Series, but not just that. It is in fact the flagship model, the 750Il, meaning it's a long wheelbase, and this is also an individual. The car is the facelift model with the rounder front headlights and the factory fitted clear indicators. It's coming with a private plate number V12 MPG. The car formerly did belong to the superstar rocker Rod Stewart himself, so this car is decked out to the nines. Coming with the factory 18-inch M parallel alloys. The car is on an individual color, which is namely purple. Has of course the glass one-touch opening sunroof, and has got a host of features I have never seen before on a 7 Series. Firstly, the interior is completely bespoke and color-coded in the purple and sky blue leather. The passenger seat has obviously got the lumbar rake height adjustment. It has just got multiple buttons just for the passenger seat. The extended rear doors signifying obviously the long wheelbase model, and of course the all-important V12 badge. Remember, this is the exact same engine that was used in the Rolls-Royce Zephyr, so that is definitely putting you in the best of company. All the ashtrays, extra cubby holes. It's also got the footrest. This car also has, if I clip this out, it's also a bespoke conference notepad table, so Mr. Stewart could have written all of his favourite songs on this. You've also got the pull down tables with the chrome plating and the illuminated vanity mirrors. In the rear again, on the armrest, you've got the telephone, the memory seats, adjustments for all of the seats at the rear as well. Yes, both seats can actually be programmed on this car at the rear. You've also got the electric blind button. Here you've got the heating controls, as well as the auxiliary input and output, the TV button, the fax button, the heating controls for both seats, and of course the heating control for the rear compartment, all digital of course. Also got the rear electric blind and the illuminated vanity mirrors on the rear. And something I've never seen on a 7 Series before is this console on the rear, which when illuminated controls all the TV and radio that we'll be demonstrating shortly. The car has got the twin aerials on the rear for the GPS and the TV, that is also factory fitted. The clear and cherry red tail lights, and of course the PDC, the park distance control, that makes parking such a mammoth beast, multi easy task. V12 badge and M parallel alloys of course being sported on the entirety of the vehicle. The BMW kick panels and the windows themselves have the visors, footrests again in the rear. You've also got of course the drop down table for the rear of the driver, and again the illuminated vanity mirrors which swivel. Just a fantastic spec car. I've just never seen anything like it, to be honest. This car was in excess of £100,000 when it was new. You've also got the emergency kit there, of course never been utilised, and that unique roof mounted control module. Jumping into the driver's seat is just an amazing feeling. You've obviously got the memory seats, which sets up the seats and steering column as well, in the mirrors. All the electrics on this car, pretty bomb-proof, and the plastic's intact, which is one of the first things and pretty much the only Achilles heel on this particular E38 shape. The car has got not only the bespoke leather but the special order wood, which as you can see isn't the traditional brown. You've got the so many buttons to get through. Obviously the washer wipers, the illumination for the dashboard, the lights for themselves, the parking brake, the wing mirrors which fold in as well, all the electric windows which you can cut the power off to as well. You've got the cruise control buttons, recirculating air, the telephone which can be operated through the steering column as well, which is electronically adjustable, all the fog lights. Then you've got the factory fitted screen, all the digital climate and all the PDCs and front heating controls, and of course the telephone for the front as well, including little, if I just pop them up here, little armrest cubby holes, always handy to have. Of course the ashtray, just pop up there. Starting the vehicle, it's an absolute beast of a car. As soon as I put the key in, just absolutely flying machine. And of course, as you can see, it's just showing 70,224 miles. The windows double glazed, as you can see the thick band there, and of course fully operational on the driver's side, window side, the rear of the passenger as well. I won't drop that down as the window blind's still up on that one, but of course all fully operational. Then of course simply one touch to raise them all up again. The wing mirrors, of course electric, that being the passengers and this being the drivers, and they of course fold in as well. Simple one touch operation to fold them in and to fold them out. You've also got the one touch glass sunroof, not the metal one, again a factory upgrade, and of course just pressing it once will close it again. Then you've got the music system, which again you can control off the steering column, just raising the volume there and lowering it. And what you can do is when you press menu, you can go onto the onboard computer, which will give you just a host of information on this particular vehicle, giving you the speed limit, the range, the distance available, the consumption figures, the time, the date, just a host of facilities really. The telephone, which is asking you to insert a card, as you can see here. And of course on the rear as well, you simply drop in your SIM and it's all coming through the factory system, so you can hear your conversations very clear and very audible. And then you move across to the GPS navigation, which you can see popping up there, all live and active. And of course, being Rod Stewart, the entertainment being his livelihood, you've of course got the television as well, which you can just see there.
Oh no, she saw him. She came early on Friday. She was here when he got here.
Flicking through to see who's winning on the snooker. It's just a fantastic spec machine, to be honest. I've just really never seen anything like this. Again, turning the volume down by the buttons on the steering column, and there you can see the steering column raising and lowering as well. Of course you can adjust the cruise control from here too, and the memory seats, simply pressing a button down below will adjust it, and you'll be able to make out my backrest. And not only that, the headrest of course electrically adjustable, and again if I just tilt the camera you'll be able to see the seat height and rake lowering, and you'll probably be able to hear it whizzing through as well. An absolute monster spec 750Il individual with a spec that I've absolutely never seen in a vehicle, to be perfectly honest. It's got the twin telephones, the traffic master, which although subscription needs to be redone again, is on board and factory fitted. Of course the customary front cup holders. You've got the button here for the electric rear blind, which of course works 100% perfectly. You've also got the SEDC control, the DSC control and the PDC to turn the front parking sensors on and off. You've got the heated 3-phase front driver's seat, passenger seat and rear seats as well. You've of course got the fans, which you'll just hear kicking in now, or maybe you won't because they are pretty silent, to be honest. Of course, blowing ice cold air conditioning, which you can switch on and off. The recirculating air, of course, you can select the tone, bass, treble, fader on the radio, the CD multi-changer which is in the boot as well, and the tape, of course, the television coming through nice, and because it's a factory fitted system, reception is fantastic. Just 70,000 and an absolute powerhouse of a car. Absolutely fantastic. I will just jump into the back and demonstrate what I was mentioning earlier, being the seat adjusters here as well. The headrest there, all lowering electronically, and that's the lumbar support. Very hard to make out on the camera, but of course working. You've got the extra cubby holes and the ashtrays, the speakers, and of course the electric double glazed windows to the rear as well. Jumping in the back of the car, it's such a fantastic place to be. I mean, I'm 6'2", and the driver's seat's adjusted for me comfortably, and I've got, well, you can see ample legroom in the rear as well. You've got the fold down picnic tables with the chrome inserts and the sun visor there, all illuminated. Switch the light on, and this is in fact the bonus on this car, which I've just never seen before.
Pretty angry at you for what's happened.
You can see it's just turning the volume up for the television.
As long as you know.
Just absolutely fantastic. Okay. The tail button, and just skipping through.
Let's get it on till the early morning. It's all good, just turn me on. Yo, shake that thing, miss. Better shake that thing, yo. Annabella, shake that thing, miss. Yo, Miss Jody and the one named Rebecca, yo, shake that thing, yo. Anna, shake that thing.
A fantastic sit. You're just sitting in the back and you just really feel on top of the world and like a rock star yourself, to be honest. And then of course there's just a multitude of more buttons there as well, just, you know, adjusting the seats left, right and center. That's actually adjusting the front passenger seat, because obviously being the governor you're going to be sitting behind the passenger, and this will actually move the seat for you. So as you can see, I'm just pressing a button here and it's actually operating the seat in the front. Absolutely fantastic. You can pretty much make that out here, and of course it's got all the memory functions and the telephone as well. If I just turn the stereo down, you can not hear anything, and that's because the engine on this 750 is only got 70,000 on the clock, being a Rolls-Royce engine, which is good for a couple of 100,000. You know, where this is an absolutely awesome spec car with absolutely no mileage on it. Again, of course, just absolutely everything on this car works 100%. Heating controls for the rear passenger compartment, as well as the again, ice cold AC coming through, fax button, TV button, AV, cigarette lighter, rear footrest, that bespoke cover, part of the individual package on this car. So all in all, 750Il hardly ever comes up, and individual is as rare as hen's teeth. And then you get something that used to belong to Rod Stewart with just 70,000 on the clock, and is just one of the best spec cars I've ever seen. It really does have more bells and whistles than a 7 Series I've ever come across, and we have gone through a fair few cars together with yourselves here on Auto Emotional. Absolutely fantastic vehicle, offered with no reserve, belonging to Rod Stewart previously, with a private plate that will be coming with the car, V12 MPG, which in itself must be worth at least £1,000. History of the vehicle, a 5-litre individual, overly spec'd car. Simply awesome. Any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us directly at www.autoemotional.com. Thank you.